What is a PRU?
A pupil referral unit is a school for pupils who find mainstream school too difficult, doesn't suit their needs.
Why do young people come to the attic?
In my opinion, young people come to attic because a lot of teachers in mainstream don't quite understand them very well, and also that many people are not skilled enough to be able to give them the best possible help they deserve. In places like the attic, they end up getting people who care about them, who are passionate in wanting to help them move on, and so it works out perfectly that they're given the best possible support.
What are the benefits?
For me, the main thing is that you get much more of a personal experience of school, and you get to know staff much more, and you get more opportunities to do different things. And for people who don't fit the mould of being in the mainstream, blossom and find their way in life.
What was you like as a teenager growing up?
I had a really, really nice childhood, my dad worked in a chocolate factory and my mum worked in a toy shop, so you couldn't really ask for much more than that as a child.
I was very much a sort of conformist. I was probably when I was young, people used to call me goody-goody, because I would always do what was expected of me. And I had a brother who was a non-conformist, and I used to worry about him all the time because he was always getting into trouble.
I was a bit naughty. I did leave school when I shouldn't, and not all the time though, but also with time I came to realize that it was more important to study, to take my lessons seriously, and to be able to do well for myself in life.
What are your hopes and dreams for the future?
Hopes and dreams, I would like very much to be able to input positively in people who are disadvantaged lives. There are a lot of people who need help, who have the talent and ability to do well for themselves, but haven't just got the direction and guidance. And I think that especially with most of the things I've learned through time, will be in a position in the future to give them options going forward.
At the moment, I'm now starting on a course, teacher training or teacher level training 3. I'd like to become a fully qualified teacher, and I'd love to stay here and do it.
If you won £1 million, what would you spend it on?
Guitars. After I've bought a house for my family, yeah.
We are here at Lowestoft College having a look around. How different is college to school?
College is different in respect that students attend for part of the week. The attitude between the learners and the staff is more about them becoming young adults and moving into careers.
I hope you noticed some of that this morning. I think one of the biggest differences is that when you come to college you have to take more responsibility for yourself and for your learning.
So we would expect people to come into the college. We treat you like adults, and we expect you to be able to manage your time and to behave in a professional manner, especially in the hairdressing salons, because they're open to the general public.
Somehow you've got more freedom, and you have to be more flexible. I think that's the biggest difference.
We are as strict, but maybe in different ways.
What advice would you give us if we wanted to come to college?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is what you're doing actually, is come and have a look first, and then perhaps get on the link programme and link into a couple of courses, a couple of choices, things that you really, really want to do.
If you wanted to come to Lowestoft College, I would do your research on different potential job outcomes or career choices moving forward, but also making sure that you focus on your English and maths. Make every effort to try and get as high grade in those subjects as possible.
How many days a week do students come into college?
It varies from course to course. What we tend to do with our hairdressing courses is they generally run over 3 sort of full days, And the reason we do that is because we encourage them to try and get part-time jobs in salons as well, so that gives them the opportunity to work on a Friday and Saturday, which are busy days in salon, and then have the Sunday and Monday as their weekend break.
Within the engineering department, the students come in for 16 hours a week. That can vary over 2 very long days, starting at 8:30 and finishing at 6:30 in the evening, or over 3 days around more traditional sort of school hours of 9 till 4.
Will we get support on our course?
There is loads of support available on the course. Hairdressing's and barbering are one of those professions where actual level of intelligence doesn't also reflect into practical skill level. So whereas if somebody's got very good hand-eye coordination, very creative, but struggles academically, we can put so much support in to help some people in that situation. But there is lots of available support. There's regular one-to-one tutorials. We assess everyone when they first come in to see where they are with their English and maths levels, and then we actually plan before anyone comes into college what we're going to put in place to support them through the course.
Do you help us find a job when we finish college?
Well, that's the plan. We do as much as we can to help people find jobs, and we look for work experience for young people throughout their time at college. And the whole idea really is somebody leaving college with the qualifications and with a job, and it's all about building for the future. So yes, the job is a really important target at the end of it.
As part of the course here in Hairdressing and Barbering, you will be placed out on work experience placements. We have very, very good relationships with local employers now. They come looking for apprentices from us. So, for example, of my 4 barbers that I've had in this year, 2 of them are transferred over to apprenticeships, and 2 of them have been offered employment at the end of the course in the places where we've put them for work experience.
Very unique being a prison governor. You're charged with the responsibility of all the prisoners and all of the staff, and the smooth and safe running of the prison, keeping everybody safe. So it's a unique and privileged role, and I enjoy it very much. Well, I have 437 prisoners, all of which work all day, every day, and I have around about 140 staff, and they look after the prisoners 24/7, 365 days of the year. I have people who've committed murder, arson, robbery, drug dealing, multi-million pound frauds, all sorts of people. What you find is the angry young 20-year-old that's committed murder is now the more relaxed 50 and 40-year-old that's looking for an opportunity to engage society. Prison life inside Holsey Bay is different to other prisons. An open prison is relaxed, it's respectful, decent, it's hard-working, and prisoners do as they're asked and they support each other. In the closed prisons, prisoners are locked up quite a lot of the time, and it can be a very different type of experience. People can feel unsafe, and tense is probably a good way of describing some prisons for an individual to experience. There's thousands of rules, and that's part of the unsettling of individuals, because there may be as many as 15,000 different rules that apply to you, and you won't know them all, because I don't know them all. I have to go to books of reference to see which rules apply to which circumstances at different times. Because you're talking about prison discipline, you're talking about people's human rights, so there's lots of rules around decency and respect. Well, the prison, or the governor, in this case me, will flex muscles, the establishment's muscles, so we'll take privileges off you. We'll give you a warning, possibly. You might find yourself subject to disciplinary hearing, and that might impact on what privileges you will get, whether you're allowed certain things or whether you're going to be removed to a place of segregation because you're so bad. And if you're segregated, that means you are on your jack, that you're on your own and you're going to serve out a time of punishment in isolation from others. Generally speaking, we match you, and if you need more segregation or more control measures than what can be afforded in an open prison, we then lift you out of that prison and place you back into a closed prison where you're back behind a door. And of course, the worse you become, the stronger the resistance that the organisation will take. So we will match resistance with resistance, but try and coach individuals to behave in a more acceptable fashion.
Okay, my first job was when I was at school. I worked for the local pleasure beach in Great Yarmouth because I'm actually originally from Great Yarmouth and I worked there.
My first job, I was still at school when I had my first job. I had a paper round and I worked packing fruit on a fruit farm.
That job wasn't. My mum was quite disgusted when I went home and said that I'd got the job at the pleasure beach, but I did that for 2 years and then I went into the motor trade because I was always used to messing around with motorbikes and push bikes and scooters and stuff, so I went from there.
No, definitely not. I had no idea what I wanted to do and I had no good suggestions other than I wanted to be a footballer, but this is a fantastic job. My biggest break was being given a chance and taking that chance.
When I used to work at a garage and I used to work on the tools and repair cars, I was then asked to then carry on and then run the garage and then tell other people what to do rather than do it myself. So that's when I started to then get into the management and the sort of that sort of structure of the place. I do a multitude of jobs. Even though I'm the managing director of the company, I do everything from sweep the floors, to empty the bins, to wash the sinks, clean the toilets. I do estimates, I do customer facing, I do sales, and generally try and keep the place motivated. So it's a big motivation skill is the biggest thing.
I'm the manufacturing director, but in a company our size, you have so many hats, you do so many jobs.
My job in Tail is to basically make the business as profitable as possible, which is what obviously businesses are for. It's no good if they don't make money, but obviously still do it to the standards that it should be and turn a good job to a very good job, you know, so that's the main priority.
My job entails satisfying the customer. That's the number one priority, is satisfying the customer and making money. But there's so many things that go into it. It's keeping the staff motivated, making sure they want to work for you, and then you end up making money and keeping the customer satisfied. We make sports equipment, sports ground equipment, that is anything that's got a goalpost, a framework or a net to it, and we make horticultural products.
So the organisation as a whole is the first basis is we repair vehicles, and anything else to do with the motor trade on that sort of side is associated, but we also paint other things, kitchen cabinets, cupboards, fridges, freezers, anything that can be painted we can do. So if you've got anything we can just bring it along and we can paint it whatever colour you like.
What I definitely look for when I'm employing someone is the right attitude. You haven't always got the skills, but if you've got the right attitude, we can give you the skills.
The biggest thing is what I like is good attitude. Good attitude is really, really important. The other parts fall into place once you've got the good attitude. Timekeeping is very, very important. All those, once they're put together, you can teach the person the trade, but if you can't teach them the good attitude and the timekeeping, then the trade's not important at all. So that's the most important part.
Do you know what? I've been given hundreds of bits of advice and not one of them sticks out, but what I would say to you is grab every bit of advice you get, and if you can turn it into a positive and use it yourself, do that.
I'm still waiting for the best part of advice. I've not been given any that I would really class as really, really good, apart from being positive about everything you do. Try and see the good side and try and make it as best as you can.
I think the students have got a greater awareness of what lies beyond school and what is in store for them at the end of next year, and kind of help them with the decisions that they have to make over the next few months to a year. I think the most important thing for me is what an excellent way that a couple of our students, Jay and Georgia, can conduct themselves when they go out to meet new people, and that they can show themselves to be really responsible and professional in the things that they do.
I thought the prison governor told us how it really was in prison.
I found that prison is not an easy place to be in. You could be in a cell with someone who scares you.
And it opened up a lot of people's eyes into what life in prison is like, and if you choose that path in life, where you're going to end up and what the consequences are. I thought the college and the company visits were really constructive. Some of our students have been going to college already and already have a little bit of an understanding of what college is all about, but I think it just helped cement a few ideas for those students and spread the word amongst other students about what to expect.
I found it very interesting. I found out about things I didn't know about the company. David was really nice.
The visit to places of employment, I think, was really beneficial because it made students realise that they can get jobs, that they can do things that are constructive and will enable them to get employment once they leave education. I think there's a variety of reasons, to be perfectly honest. Some students are a bit self-conscious about being on or around the cameras. Other students find it very hard to engage in things that they don't see an immediate benefit to themselves for. I believe our students that with a little bit of confidence and a little bit of awareness of what the world beyond school holds can thrive. I think as soon as they get out into the big wide world and see and understand how they can earn money in a responsible way, those opportunities will be brilliant for our students. Yeah, I think there's lots of positive things. I've seen a big increase in the self-esteem of the students who were involved. What they thought that they were capable of at the start and what they've achieved since then, there's a huge difference. The students who thought, oh, I could never interview someone, I could never come up with a list of questions, are almost doing it with second nature now. And I think that's been brilliant for them.
Yes, I would recommend this project to other young people as it builds your confidence. I feel more confident in talking to people outside of school.
I've learnt to be a bit more grown up about work.
You should always keep trying. If you get knocked back in a job, keep trying.
The message that hit home is that you need to get your exams in school so you can go on a course in college. I see myself as a fully qualified hairdresser and a beautician. I would recommend this project to other young people because you get to go out, visit businesses and see yourself succeeding.